What is up, everybody? It's Verdi here, and thank you so much for stopping by. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Desert shifting for the good. It's story driven now, which I'm very happy about. But before we get into everything we gotta talk today, I really want to show you guys something. I ordered this, printed this, because this thing is actually huge. You need to understand this. I'm not a small guy. This thing is huge. This is 140 to, I would say about, I think it was 60 or maybe 70 or 80, something like this. This is the Caphras Poster. Hold on a minute. I think I can do a better job for you guys. Look at this. The Caphras Poster. I can't wait to put this on my wall. I just need to drill it. But yeah, that's gonna take some time, but let's put it here for a while because it's the only place where I can really have it, at least for now. But holy moly, this is one of the best pieces in Black Desert we have ever had. And I'm just having it on my monitor box because I got nowhere else to put it so far. But ladies and gentlemen, we have, oh god, I can't stop watching it. Hold on, I can't stop watching it, man. It's so freaking good. So freaking good. We got so many things to talk about today. Oh, guys, the King of Edania, the bearer of the Godslayer, save this world. Something very important is happening. Pearl Abyss are finally really, they said they're gonna do this and they're not failing. They're not failing. They said they're gonna tie all loose ends. And they're doing a good job with it because this little post here provided so much context for so many things. And also a little bit of inaccuracies here and there. We have the Godslayer of Legend. And we're gonna go through it. At the dawn of time, there was darkness. And we see a silhouette of a woman. A silhouette which looks like with long hair and, you know, there's skulls. There's something hinted here. Caphras forged the fabled Godslayer armor to defeat it, yet its power proved too great for him to bear. Something very important to note here. This is truly what you call, this is the Godslayer armor. This is the final armor of Black Desert. This is basically it in terms of gear. However, something very important here is that it says, at the dawn of time, there was darkness. The dawn of time is pretty much hinted only once in the entire game, and not even that it's dawn of time. It's more or less that it's the only time where we're ever told about the beginning of time. And this is from Song of Tumta. Song of Tumta tells specifically about a girl that will be known as the Thornwood Goddess. A girl whose thorns will transcend throughout time, essentially hitting at the beginning of it all and also at the end. It's going to create a loop, essentially. And then we have Caphras at that period creating the Godslayer armor, which is a very gross exaggeration of what actually was said into the Korean side. Not that Caphras was at the dawn of time, no, it's just that eventually he did it to defeat it. So, it's as simple as this. For the future of Edania, he split the armor's essence into 5 pieces. We have 4 pieces and we're not sure why there are 5, but legend says right now that probably the Sovereign offhand is a part of this. Although we are not entirely sure if that is the case. We have no idea why there are 5, honestly. No clue why there are 5. We will see probably in the future. Pearl Abyss will not just simply say 5 instead of 4. That would be ridiculous. There's gonna be something else. We'll see what that is. And sealed them across Edania. Should the darkness return, the King of Edania must draw every ounce of its power to stand against it. And then we see the throne of Caphras with a warrior with a shield and what looks like a lancia. Cool. I have no idea what this means, actually. Countless have sought the armor to wield its god-slaying might, but every attempt has ended in failure. And then we see warrior's sword from the outfit. We see the Trions of Dracania. Right. This is a thing of legend and myth. And then we have a thing here, which I have no idea what it is, and probably you guys can fill in the gaps for me. I have no idea what this is. It looks like a golden black stone with red inside. I have no idea what this is. Maybe it's one of the new resources. It's just loose in my mind right now. Who will break the seals and awaken Edania's true power? Oh, and I'm forgetting Goyen. He is in Edania. Goyen, warrior's basically protagonist, you could say. He is the creator of the warrior mercenaries, from which our warrior is essentially a part of. Goyen is kind of like the father of warriors, in a sense. And then we have Bearer of Godslayer, rise, O King of Edania, and save this world. And then it goes around. And it looks epic, it looks amazing, and I love every single bit of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is the Godslayer armor, which is going to be the final piece of that. It is a stunning piece of work. This is truly a stunning piece of work. However, today we didn't really come here to talk about the Godslayer armor. Today we came to talk about something different. Today we're talking about the cutscene mostly, because the cutscene is going to, a cutscene which I literally just uploaded here, is going to tell us a lot. So remember over here into the Godslayer of Legend in the beginning, it says, at the dawn of time, there was darkness. See, we know right now, and Pearl Abyss have hinted this very well, that Elezra is the dark goddess. Everything points towards Elezra being a god. Every single piece of lore, she herself says it. Everybody around it show it like this. Pearl Abyss let us know that that is true by hints left and right. And we know that Elezra transcends time, because she has been stopping time and walking across time while we are fighting things. She is just stopping and observing. At the dawn of time, there was darkness, the dark goddess, essentially. You could call it this. However, it is just a theory, remember. Into the cinematic cutscene, which we're going to talk right now about, it goes like this. And I will not talk up until the end.
I entered a castle so grand, so tall, to seek the king to answer his call.
Bartali, raise thine head.
The moment I gazed, my heart full of fear, I knew then death's shadow had drawn near.
To cast off shackles born of sin, you must let death and new life begin.
Death is not a fate we can outrun. It is a law that binds everyone, with no exception.
I followed someone's gaze and looked to the sky. A door of darkness opened and a black star fell. Oh my!
For once again, the time of contraction is met.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most absolutely stunning cutscenes we have ever had. Let's just try and break this down, because this is crazy to me personally. First, we do not know who this is. We truly do not know. However, what we can do is try and guess. This kind of looks like one of the merfolk, although the situation behind doesn't look like it. I have no idea who this is, actually. It is not Rusalka, by the way. The reason for which we know that this is not Rusalka is because it's not in Rusalka's place, this throne thing. What looks behind kind of like a coral, we don't know really what this is. But we see an ominous female person with thorns coming outside, but in reality those are one of those little skin in between, you know, like the gills and the fins of the fish. So this could actually be Rusalka, although the hints are very weird. Like, it doesn't really look like her at any given point in time. We don't know what this is, but it speaks something very important, and that is, I entered a castle so grand, so tall, to seek the king to answer his call. And then we proceed forward down the line to see this woman staring as if, you know, this is Emma Bertali, and she is looking into a woman of black hair. Now, to go back into this, we go over here at the start, something very important here. The dawn of time, there was darkness, this little thing. The dark goddess is among us. And this is actually the dark goddess, speaking to Emma Bertali. The dark goddess, very heavily hinted to be Elezra. Elezra's white hair, I have no idea. This could be also a very well done manipulation by PA to make us think that, but in reality it isn't. We really do not know. However, it continues to say, basically, I knew then Death's shadow had drawn near. Darkness, Death's shadow. I believe I have heard Death's shadow. I think Ibidor when I hear Death's shadow, and I'm not sure why I think this actually. It's either I'm just loosely connecting Ibidor somehow, which he is missing. You know, they kind of redacted probably the lore that he is dead. We will see. But then, you know, Death's shadow had drawn near, and then it opens up to Jardine with his own sword in his chest to cast off shackles born of sin. This is Jardine's sin. Essentially, shackles born of sin is essentially Jardine's never ever possibility to redeem himself because of what he did. And then you must let death in the new life begin. To enter death inside. This is very good. And as you can see, he's doing precisely this. Something very important here, and where he is doing this actually is amongst some ruins from where thorn trees, let me just move my camera here so you guys see this just for a split moment so you see it well. Trees of thorns over here. This is the motif of the Dark Goddess, alright? This is the motif of the Dark Goddess. Then what we have is one of the most stunning images ever created in history of Black Desert. And it is of Caphras the Immortal Alchemist, the son that abandoned Mother Sylvia, the man who shaped the world almost into what it is. He almost doomed us 3 times? Technically he did. He is now the only person that can save us, for only he knows the extent of Hadum's power in reality. Elezra as well. Death is not a fate we can outrun, he says. Kissing a hand which comes from the thorns and the tree essentially, which is one of the biggest confirmations, which I have never been personally a fan of, that Sylvia is in fact the trees and that the Dark Goddess is actually the trees. This is a crazy thing which we will need to explore with Edania, because right now it doesn't make too much sense, but PA will make this make sense. A woman's hand coming from the trees is the metaphor that the elves believe that the Camasylph tree is Sylvia. And now we see Caphras kissing a woman's hand, which seems to take shape out of the thornwood, which is essentially damn near confirmation that Sylvia is the Dark Goddess. And this is crazy because it all goes back into it. And if Sylvia is the Dark Goddess, then Elezra is Sylvia. And I can't even, I don't even know what to say. It is like, holy moly. I'm just loosely tying this up. I don't know what to say of this. We continue down the line. It is a law that binds everyone with no exception. That is absolutely true. You cannot escape it. However, Caphras is immortal. And it is something about him that he understands that he will not be here forever. Yet. I have no idea how and why. And then we have Emma come back to us in this amazing little scene where she essentially looks at what here this is a metaphor for the King of Edania. Essentially us. This is us. This here is us, really. This here is us. I followed someone's gaze and looked to the sky. And she looks up into the sky, a door of darkness again, death and darkness, the end. And a black star fell, oh my. This is a weird thing to say, however. And then we see on top something incredibly important. And this here is the origin of ancient light emitting. Which is, I cannot really understand this so far, but let me tell you a couple of things, ladies and gentlemen, is that the origin of ancient light, there seems to be a topic or a precedent in Edania where light and dark are the same thing because none can exist without the other. Light cannot be seen if there is no darkness. There cannot be darkness unless there is something to be cast through the light. This is a very popular trope. In literature, this is a very popular thing, and it's used to explain plenty of other things. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, this is insane. And then we end up with the Dark Goddess herself saying, for once again, the time of contraction is met. Remember when I tell you that Elezra is the Dark Goddess that transcends time? It is almost confirmed in front of us. This, for a beginning, a prelude quest, is a lore building worth of so many years that we haven't had before. It is insane. It is insane through and through. I can't wait. We have 12 days. 12 days. Oh no, wait. Yeah, 12 days. 12 days up until it comes. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I love you guys. Mwah. Enjoy yourselves. And this is very fresh on me. I'll probably make another video for this, alright? Once it sits and once I kind of talk with my fellow peers, lore members, and see what we can figure out of this, because there's so much lore in this little snippet. Like, who is this? Is this actually the Dark Goddess? Why is the hair black? Why isn't the hair white? Is Sylvia actually it? It makes so much sense. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Hope you guys have been enjoying the lore content, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.